back in Kentucky with my friend Gary Reimer. Gary and I met March 2019. He had us out to develop a wildlife and hunting plan for the property, and Gary and I just hit it off. So we'd stop by and put eyes on the work Gary's been doing. So come on along, we're gonna walk through Gary's property, and of course we had footage back from 2019 and see if we can see the differences and let Gary explain what he's done and the results. So come on along and join us. And compare this to when you first got the farm. So I saw it, but you, in your words, what did this look like, you know?
It was just, I mean, it was so heavily canopied and very little animal activity here, or any kind of animals.
There's nothing to eat except acorns, so I would estimate you may have, excluding acorns, maybe 50 pounds per acre of forage in here. A deer takes over a ton a year. No wonder these deer are whipping over to the ag field. There's nothing to eat here.
They would come here, through the rut and mill around, but other than that, there just was very little activity.
I would come in here and terminate a bunch of these trees, get some sunshine down in here, and create a savanna, and it would be way more productive for all species of wildlife.
It really is amazing just what the last 2 years have done. We're really looking forward to the next few years.
Gary, this looks awesome. Would you mind just sharing with us kind of the process you went through to accomplish this?
Yes, sir. Well, we used, as you can see, we did a double girdle in some of the stems. We also did some hack and squirt. We used a combination. We used your cocktail. We also used some Garland 4A. We've also used down here, we just used straight Gly, which we didn't have as great a success with the Gly as we did with the other chemicals. But this is probably the best part of the farm that we've done for your habitat management plan for us. And you can clearly see from this section to that section how much different it is.
Daylight and dark. Daylight and dark. This is beautiful, incredible habitat. We've already picked out several partridge plants, which is alfalfa, God's alfalfa, and high quality browse in here. And I noticed like this was browsed off, but once you get very big at all, it's not browsed off because there's enough food.
That's right.
They don't have to take the coarser stuff. And as far as quail or turkey brooding, nesting and brooding habitat, this is ideal. Little open places cover, open places cover. I'm sure the insect count's really high here, so great deer habitat, great quail and turkey nesting brooding habitat. And I think you mentioned you killed a couple toms right over here this spring.
Sir.
And, you know, get big living trees behind us, acorn producers. This is early on begun to develop into a beautiful hardwood savanna. And Gary, I get all kinds of hate mail when I tell people to double girdle hack and squirt, because you won't be able to walk in there for 20 years. Trees are gonna fall down and kill you. Do you have any fear of that going on here?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
I mean,
as you can see, most of the stems are still upright.
Yeah.
And a lot of this fuel that's on the ground, most of it was already here just from, natural decay and wind and stuff like that.
And this looks awesome. Got native grasses and forbs. I'm prescribing for Gary here on out. He's done a dormant season burn already, which is usually the first burn I want because there's a lot of fuel and you want to put that bigger heat unit through here when the trees are dormant. But I've asked him to follow up with a growing season burn, late July, August, September. And what that will do, if we do all dormant season, early spring before it greens up, that will kind of favor grasses and it won't kill these hardwood saplings. The sap is still down in the root system, so fire will girdle a tree. It's not going to get hot enough to consume that. It'll girdle it, but you got all those carbs in the roots, so that just comes up with 10 or 20 more root saplings, sprouts, people call them, and it's a mess, shades out stuff. So I like every other burn in this habitat to be a growing season burn, and if you burn this here when it dries out, and all the carbohydrates are in those leaves up there, and you just girdle the stem where it can't transfer those carbs back to the roots, that sapling will starve over the winter. And that'll give you a nice balance of grasses and forbs. Man, what incredible habitat. I think you mentioned you're seeing bigger bucks, more mature bucks.
Yeah. Lot bigger bucks, lot mature bucks. And that was the thing, is the first year we had it, I mean, during the rut, we would see a few nice bucks here, nothing of any real decent quality or size. And now we know we've got some living on us, some mature bucks. We've got one that we know is about 6.5 years old. And it's just very exciting. We're very, very excited about this fall.
So 2019, we're not taking credit for growing those deer. They were in the neighborhood somewhere, whatever. But now we've got better habitat than the neighbors.
That's right.
And so maybe their home range, you know, overlapped your place 20% or something. You didn't see them that frequently, and they're 80% over here and 20% here. But now that we've got the best habitat in a neighborhood, you can kind of switch that ratio around a little bit.
That's right.
And the proof's in the pudding. You and your family and your buddies having some great hunting,
That's right.
seeing deer, harvesting deer, obviously turkeys. I'm thrilled for you.
Thank you.
Now, Gary, this will never be a soybean field where almost every plant has something good to eat, right?
Right.
We've got some hardwood saplings. We've got some stuff that deer aren't going to browse on. But people hear that and they, oh, I don't want to do that. But when I look at these acres through here, it's infinitely more tons, not pounds, tons of food than right over here where you haven't treated yet.
That's right. And then that's what I was saying, is driving my four-wheeler down here, and it was just like, it was about this time of the day, and I was just blown away looking at the difference. I mean, you can clearly see how dark it is.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah.
here it's just like, my goodness, it's just, I mean, not that I ever doubted anything you told me, but.
No, proof's always in the pudding.
Man, you know, and I knew that we were going to see results, but I thought it was going to take 4 or 5 years. I didn't know it was going to be this fast.
So this is all really just God's simple plan of photosynthesis. You opened up the canopy, and photosynthesis, of course, is the energy that drives every living thing on the planet. And you're just allowing it to photosynthesize now instead of 60 feet up there, down where deer, quail, turkey make a living. And this is awesome habitat. I congratulate you.
Well, thank you. And it's a lot of fun too. I mean, it really is. It's hard work, but it's a lot of fun. I'm really, really enjoying it. And then, as much as I love the deer hunt, the land stewardship has really taken front seat of all that.
Yeah, me too. And I hear that a lot with people that actually practice it. And like you said, you're riding through and you have that moment, oh my gosh, this is working. To improve land is like a bigger scale of having a good garden and eating the produce, because your family's going to consume venison and turkey off here and whatnot. And to improve land and watch it improve, land, maybe your grandma's land you get to hunt, or your land or whatever, buddy's land you're partnered up with, to me is a very satisfying feeling.
Growing Deer is brought to you by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Also by Green Cover Food Plots, Winchester, Lacrosse Footwear, Moultrie Mobile, Fleet Outdoor Apparel, Morel Targets, RTP Outdoors, Fourth Arrow, Hunt Stand, Scorpion Venom Archery, Case IH Tractors, Ward Laboratories, Burris Optics, National Land Realty, G5 Broadheads, Prime Bows, and Redneck Hunting Blinds.
Just down the hill, we were talking about fawning and nesting habitat, and you know how beautiful this is. And walking up the hill, Daniel spotted a fawn or two right out here, and it held for several minutes because it's very secure, so we can see in there. But there's cover, you know, 2 to 4 feet tall, kind of a mosaic, and it's ideal deer, turkey, quail habitat. There's food and cover. And I don't know if y'all have noticed this, just maybe seen it on film, but we've got, you know, still a closed canopy forest behind us. And over here, there's all kind of moths and butterflies. I see one right here flitting around. It's just much better habitat for game and non-game species. And that's because, Gary, it's replicating even as simple as what Daniel Boone, you can go to YouTube and look for Daniel Boone's biography. He was a great writer. And listen to it, and he talks about these beautiful park-like settings. And here in Kentucky, just, you know, untold number of buffalo and elk and, of course, deer. And it's so much more productive because that's how this land was created to be than closed canopy forest. But seeing the fawns is just, you know, a little proof in the pudding that it's great habitat. They look good. They look big. I don't know if you see them.
Oh, yeah.
They looked awesome. And there's all kind of food and cover out here and security. They didn't even, you don't need them bolt. If you jump a fawn in a wide open hardwood forest, it's bolting out of there. Or you jump a turkey, they're going out of there. But this one ran, I don't know, 60 yards or something like that and held up and wasn't sighted. So just a testimony to the good work you're doing, Gary.
Thank you.
So we kind of walked through there and on top of the hill now, Gary, and even though you've done a beautiful job, that side slope, the wind's still likely to swirl in there. It can be tough to bow hunt, but man, you get up a stand or an elevated blind here looking down in there, awesome fire hunting opportunity. Because again, the deer feel so secure, they're just meandering through there. Mm-hmm. But for bow hunting, closer range game, I love this edge. You got a food plot here, you've left some big white oaks and stuff here, and I'm 1,000% convinced deer are gonna travel this deer edge animals anyway. You can come in the back door here and hunt this under a variety of winds and thermals. So, I mean, literally right here in this corner, a couple big trees right here. This just screams, I need a tree stand right here to me.
Gotcha. Okay.
These edges like this, between two hard edges, two distinctly different habitat types, are just really good travel corridors.
Okay.
And this continues on, but this is obviously a little bit better habitat here. I mean, this is going to be a great spot right here.
Okay.
Gary, I just really want to thank you for letting Daniel and I stop by. I just really want to thank you on another level for your personal testimony of letting us share what can be done to basically high-graded hardwood forests. That was, deer and turkey here, but wasn't like, oh my gosh, that's a great hunting area. Would you agree with all that?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And you're doing the work. I mean, we can plan and tell people and make maps, but sometimes people don't implement what we tell them. I understand it's a lot of work, but you've done it, you're doing it, and man, we're seeing deer, I'm seeing the browse, seeing the cover. It's awesome. It's just so happy for you and your family, and you're gracious. You let friends hunt with you. I would ask, could we come back by for it's out another couple of years and I'd see stage 2, because I know you're going to keep on going.
Absolutely. We would really, really enjoy that.
And I want to ask you one last thing, so we're blessed with a pretty large audience. What would you tell people that are just starting? Well, what's the biggest surprise you got, or the biggest reward you got, or just what's one thing that comes to mind when you think about your project?
Well, I would say really just being patient with it. You can have high expectations, but the high expectations come with a lot of work. And really, there really hasn't been very many disappointments because everything has happened in just a short amount of time. We started March 2019, and here we are in July of 2022. We've burned twice, and we've done probably 8 projects of the timber stand improvement, and then done 2 clearing projects in those 2.5 years. So I feel like the best advice I give somebody is whatever these guys tell you to do is what you need to do. And, the faster you get on it, then the faster you're going to see the results.
Yeah, excellent. Thanks for sharing that, Gary.
Absolutely.
Thanks for your friendship.
Same to you.
And man, I can't wait. I know last year you sent me some pictures, some pretty nice bucks. So we're 60 days from hunting season or something like that. So
looking forward to it.
I'll look for some more pictures this year.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
All right. I really enjoy getting out with friends and folks I meet and talking about creation and ways to improve it. And in this case, seeing the results. But even more important than that is taking time to share about our Creator with our family and friends. And even more important than that, taking time every day to be quiet and seek the Creator's will for our life. Thanks for watching Growing Deer.